All right, if you're only going to watch a few minutes, I want you to see this part first. The two dudes head to head. The day I married you was the happiest day of my life. And the computer says, what? Married? Two men? That can't be. And this scene, which is just more F white people, fat, bald, bearded guys wearing pants that were popular in the 80s and tank top t-shirts. Kind of basically EVS. Oh, and I know that some people try to be nice to kind of chase the algorithm to get subs and stuff, but I am an asshole, and I just kind of have to be me. So click the links to support the channel, and by that I mean my cannabis habit. I actually don't drink or use drugs, but if you want to send me some, I could be persuaded to try it. Weed is legal in California, so just saying. Or if you want to be a dick and keep all the drugs for yourself, then the least you could do is send me art for the channel. So far, I have gotten some amazing art, and I will start using it once I jump over to the computer for intros and outros and background scenes and that. But the stuff I have got has been just killer. The last piece I got was Liberty Devices, which is freaking hysterical. This is Wonder Twins 11. How do I get through this without swearing and saying other things that would get my... Oh, yeah. Okay, I won't swear in this, but if you're sensitive, this is not the video for you. In brief, it is abso-freaking-lutely cringe, like American Chavez meets Squirrel Girl bad. But there is a lot of hot words in it that our masters at YouTube don't like. I kind of doubt that too many other channels are going to touch this because it's so over-the-top racist. If you flip through this without reading the text, you'll see a lot of good-looking black people with computers. They look competent and confident. You'll see obese, slovenly white dudes in their 50s wearing tank tops and sweatpants that were popular in the 80s. For some reason, those garish colors were big in the 80s. I don't know, maybe a bunch of... Well, I won't say it. That's the problem with YouTube is there's so much you just can't say. I want to say, God, I can't even hint to what I wasn't going to say. It was about blind Filipinos and poor color choice. That was a joke that was popular a long time ago. Anyway, so there's this supercomputer that is trying to turn the world back to the 80s, and the dumb, fat, sloppy white men are happy with the computer version of basically Donald Trump. Because the white men are stupid, while Africans are super smart and techie. That's why Africa has such an advanced space program. And there go 3 subs. This comic is as subtle as getting eaten by a T-Rex. These fat white guys are saying how much better the 80s were, and the African Americans are portrayed as super smart and glad to be living in current year. But if you look at the black family in the 80s, it was much stronger. Less single moms, more fathers in the home. The south of the border immigration hadn't destroyed the black family yet. They did it because the third worlders invaded with low-skilled labor, and they would take less money for jobs because they would put a dozen people in a house and sleep on cots. They drove the wages down. So in the 80s, you had these, say in the 80s that without third world immigration, a job would pay $50 an hour, a construction job, but the third worlders would cut those wages in half. I'm trying not to say certain words too often because YouTube they'll pull a video for hate speech. YouTube just sucks. You used to be able to have an American father out working while mom was home with the kids, and when you have that solid family life, the kids turn out well, and you have a strong nation. But the immigrants drive the wages down. Both parents need to work now, so the European Americans who wanted a certain standard of living stopped having kids, where the third world family came from the third world. Their standards are much lower, so they have kids, and the Euro-Americans get replaced. Feminism and birth control mixed with Marxist media and college professors accelerated this replacement of the Europeans for the south of the border immigrants. Keep in mind, it's easier for the elites to control a third world population that is diverse. They fear nationalism and a unified nation. Think of their propaganda phrase, diversity is our strength, except that we know it's not our strength, it's weakness. The joke is that when you substitute the Euros for the south of the borders, you will have all the vibrant diversity, culture, and crime rates of Mexico. I believe Mexico leads the world in kidnapping and extinguishment of life. So when they travel north into America, well, I can't say anymore, but you do the math. But no borders, man. Apparently facts are hate speech now. So basically this comic is laughing at the destruction of a nation. They are portraying Trump's only supporters as 50-year-old dumb fat white guys who wish they could get rid of gay marriage and return to the 80s. Well, there are more Africans and Mexicans who are against gay marriage, but the racist douchebag who wrote this propaganda left them out. In the 80s, more Africans and Mexican families had dads. In current year, those dads are gone. So how exactly is life better for them now? You have single moms raising future single moms, but the Marxists call it progress, or they blame the patriarchy. But it's their open borders, welfare, feminism that caused all this. Good going, you commie douchebags. Wonder Twins 11 is very careful to show one tiny segment of the population. Who knew the nation was better in the 80s? Which, by all metrics, it was. Because the queef sniffer who wrote this hates you, America, and people of European descent in general, because he's a rat bastard commie. A comic like this is a self-own, if it is subject to any scrutiny whatsoever. There's a large percentage of the population who is saying that America was better 40 years ago. Surely this must make some readers ask the obvious question, was it? How was it different 40 years ago? For one thing, only speaking English wouldn't stop you from getting a job. There are places in America where no English is spoken. Doesn't that seem odd to you? In the 80s, there were black neighborhoods with a father in the home. They had family businesses, they went to church, they had a community. Now those neighborhoods are Spanish. The businesses are Spanish, the churches are Spanish. Where's the black father? He's gone. He's been replaced by the taxpayers' welfare. But the racists who write this propaganda are only showing this tiny slice of the population, the 50-year-old white dude. Because if Russell, the guy who wrote this, showed any other group, he would promptly be fired. Keep in mind that these 50-year-old men are the doctors, lawyers, engineers, contractors, and businessmen who made America such an awesome place that third worlders will leave their country and come to this great place that these white guys built. The third worlders are literally saying, hey, we can't run our own country. We want to live in a world that you Englishmen built. Then, after a few generations, the children of these third worlders say that they are taking over and want to turn America into the third world shithole their parents came from. Whoa, Bianca, you're just trying to get kicked off YouTube. Guys, it's only a matter of time. The only thing keeping me safe is my small size. And before you call me istophobic, my family came from shithole countries. But you don't see me trying to turn America into the same garbage dump that we came from. That seems like the definition of low IQ. A comic like this, its only goal is outrage eyeballs. I am sure its sales suck, so in an attempt to catch some attention, they try a little shock prawn and double down on the racism and sexism. It just means that the writer is a low-quality writer who can't come up with a good story. Russell is the same guy who wrote the gay Jesus story. It's odd that they never go after Jews or Muslims. Really makes you think. Really activates the almonds. It's like I can watch the subs drop. I am no Mike Miller. I don't actually want to lose subs. On Tug's live stream the other night, some Jabba the Cuck gave a super chat where he congratulated EVS on 131 subs. Yellow Flash said, see, Jabba doesn't hate you. Then they had to explain that they were congratulating EVS going from 132k to 131k. It was brutally funny. I'm surprised the Comic Book Hut didn't clip out that audio. Anyway. If you're gonna... Oh, this is a gay couple being saved by the Wonder Twins. Is that symbolic? That probably is symbolic. If you're gonna read one comic book this year, it should not be this comic. Look, strong, capable, competent, smart, Asian eyes for some reason, doing computer stuff. And the stinky character... stinky fat white guy gives a lecture to the other fat, dumb, stupid white guys who, managed to build the greatest country in the world. Oh, how can you call it the great? Well, because everyone wants to fucking come here. This world used to be ours, and they took it from us. Yes, in the 60s, they started opening the border. In the 80s, it got worse. Yes, you've been replaced. And the country will be the high-quality, diverse, vibrant country with the same crime rates, kidnapping, and homicide as that country south of the border, because that's what's replacing these guys. Contractors, engineers, doctors, people who built a great country. This video is going to get me in trouble. All right, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all next episode.